it's Amanda here from Lolly Lulu Crafts, and today we are making a card from our November Simon Says Stamp monthly kit, card kit, and it was a lovely kit. I have already done a post on this with a project, so you would have seen the box when it was sort of perfect and everything was all there, and you'd have seen there was all loads of lovely stuff in it, and I really like the colours on this, so and particularly like all these aquas and the candy pinks and things. I think look really nice. I really like those as a Christmas tones. But as you can see, I've really made use of the kit. I've been delving into it quite a lot, and there's still plenty there. I mean, it's all obviously being hacked and chopped up, but we've still got a whole piece there, so I may still make another card to go on Instagram for you with these greens and taupes and things. But as you can see, even then, because once I finish with you guys, I sort of, the theory is that when I'm working with the kit for what I'm doing with you guys as the monthly project with you, is that I try to pretty much use just what's in the kit. But obviously once that's finished, I then can just delve into it and make use of the scraps that are left, with adding it to any of my cardstock and bits and pieces that I have, so it will then go even further. So anyway, today we are going to be making a fun card. Hopefully you like it, so let's get cracking with it. Okay, so the first thing we've got is I took the pink piece of cardstock that is in the kit, and if you want to know the specifics, then just go down underneath the blog post and it will give you all the details of exactly what these things are in the kit. So I took the pink piece and I cut it to 6 inches wide. Now it was a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, so I cut it 6 inches and I took it across the 8-inch direction, so I would have plenty of pink card still left, but I left it at that 8.5 inch width, so because I wanted to punch my edge here, and I didn't quite, you're never quite sure with punches how deep they're going to go, so I punched it and then I scored at the 1/2 inch from the edge of my punch here down to 1/2 inch, and I scored. So that means that whatever punch you use, that will give you a guide as to how much. I mean, obviously some punches might go deeper in and you might have to do a bit more, but that's what I've done here. And it's just a plain, simple punch from X-Cut, just a lovely scallop, just a plain simple scallop that I use. So as I say, I scored that. I then cut this so that it comes now, if you fold that bit, to 6 inches by 6 inches. So it's 6.5 actually if you count the scallop, but if you want to be precise, what we're trying to achieve is a 6 by 6 card, and we've just got a little flap. So we've got the flap with our little scallop there. So then I took the white piece of card that was in the kit, and I cut that to 6 inches by 4 3/4, and that will then sit just up like so. So you can see there's going to be a gap at the bottom, but we're going to fill that. And then I took my lovely my lovely ink. It's called Hot Lips, and this is Simon Says Stamp ink. And this is one of the ones that they sent me as a gift, and it's a really nice colour. So it's not part of the kit, but it goes really well with the kit. And then I used this border stamp here, this candy stripe border stamp that was in the stamp set that came with the kit, and I just stamped across the bottom like so, and I think that looks really nice, just to make a nice little edge. Now if you didn't want to stamp, you could do what I originally did, which is I took a little strip of one of the pieces of the red paper and I used that, and I was just going to pop that across the bottom like so. So you could do something like that if you preferred, but I decided after all that I would like to do the stamping, and I think that looks really nice. Okay, so then I took my gorgeous little bunny paper here. I think this is absolutely adorable. And it's this lovely, and it's got the pink, the greeny colour, the red, so it's bringing all these tones in that we're going to be using. And that again is the 6 inches, and then it is just whatever is remaining. So as I said, on here we've got 4 3/4, so it's going to be 1 1/4 here, but then I've got a chunk that's going up behind just so it's got something to stick to. So I've probably done it at about 2.5 inches, something like that. And that was just because I wasn't quite sure exactly where it was going to sit. I was trying to make it so that, and I've cut it as well at the bottom here so that it's nice and tidy, is that I didn't want to have the edge, the bottom edge here with the little bunnies half cut through, so I made sure that I cut the bottom just underneath the bunny rabbits, and then I tried to make my gap come so that it finished just there, so we've got 2 nice rows of the little bunnies coming through, and I think that just looked nice. So that's all going to go like that. So I'm just going to stick these bits down now. So I'm going to stick my white piece in first. So I've just got some adhesive here, just some Tombow mono glue here. And as you can see now, what we've created is the start of our card base. And I just thought it would be really nice to have the card, the colour on the back being so that it's nice on the inside as well, so it looks pretty there, but also to have that kind of decorative element on the front at the top there, I think looks really nice. And then we're bringing this in, the red part in there as well. So next we're going to put our little bunny rabbit paper down. So we're going to put some adhesive on the top of our piece of paper for the bunnies, so that catches that top edge like so, and then we're going to put a little bit of adhesive just on this piece here, and that catches that edge. So basically both the edges now will be stuck. So then we're going to put this and line it up at the bottom so that the 2 corners match up with the 2 corners of the pink, and then we're just going to bring our card over, making sure that we're happy that it lines up. Okay, so that's our card base, and you can see that's going to stand up now, but it looks really nice, and I like that when you do that and you create just a bit of interest on the front there, and it still looks nice and neat and fine on the back. And actually this little red piece that I'd cut for the front, I think what I'll do is I'll just pop that along the back here on that join line, and I think that will make that look just adds, I don't like things like that where it's not finished properly, so this will just add that little bit of something on the front, on that edge there, to make it look a little bit tidier. And then just, I'm going to put it next to it rather than over it, because that will hide that line and it will stop it, it won't then have like a height to it, it will be level with it. So we just pop that along like that, and show you, you can see it's kind of butted up against that piece of cardstock of our bunny rabbits on the front, and then you've got that on the back, and I think that then just finishes it off and stops it being like a raw edge. It looks like it's kind of meant to be there, like a decorative feature, rather than this horrible kind of raw edge where you've just put a piece of paper on. And I think things, little details like that do make a difference personally. Okay, so then the next thing that I've got is that I took another piece of the paper from the pack, and it's this gorgeous little teeny weeny holly and berries. It's so pretty, again bringing in those colours, but it's a nice soft version, so by bringing that in it's just bringing it all together, I think. So we're going to pop that down in the middle there. So to be honest, I didn't measure it, it was just a piece of scrap, but it looks about, I would say 2 1/4, 2 1/2, something like that, and obviously by 6 inches. But you know, do it by eye as to what you think looks right. There we go. Just making sure it's straight. So again, I think that looks really pretty. It's bringing all those colours together because you've got the pinky bits in there and the red, and then you've got the greeny bits, and it's kind of soft, so it's bringing the white and the pink, and it's just bringing it all together, I think, anyway. So that's that bit. Okay, so then what I did was I put this to one side for a minute and I will show you, because what I wanted to do was create a shaker card, because we had in this kit these gorgeous lovely snowflakes and sequins. There's some letters in there because I cut out a die which you'll see on Instagram, and it had some letters that popped out which I thought I'd be able to use later, so I popped them in there for safekeeping. But the rest, as you can see, is those beautiful snowflake and sequins, and I wanted to use those for a shaker card. So what I did was I took my round dies, I think these are Spellbinders, and some scallop dies, and I don't know exactly which ones they are, I'm afraid, but I guess they'd be pretty standard Spellbinder dies. I'm pretty certain they're Spellbinders. So I took the largest die of the round one and I cut out a pink circle. So that's going to be the background for my shaker section. I then had a piece of card in the kit that was all kind of like note paper, but it had in the corner piece here that says "You warm my heart," so I cut around it as a little label, and that's going to go in there as well over the top, and I'm going to stick that down and our little shaker pieces are going to go around it. I then cut out, using the largest die and the next largest die on the circle dies, 9 frames in the red. I actually took a piece of, I don't know what make it was, American Crafts possibly, or Basil, I'm not sure, but I took a piece of 12 by 12, plus I had some scraps left of red cardstock that came in this kit, and I was able to cut 9 of these frames. I then glued them together, and this created what is going to be the height. So instead of using foam tape around my easel, around my shaker, I'm using these, and this will create a perfect little bit of height to the shaker, but will fit perfectly underneath my scallop circle that I'm going to do. Whereas if I use foam tape, I could use tape that's on a reel, which I've got here, but you'd have to cut it, and you'd have to, to try and make it fit under that very narrow border would be quite hard. I next took the scallop, the largest scallop, and the second largest circle to create a frame the same as these, but with a scalloped edge, and I cut it both in the pink, one in the pink and one in this card pattern paper here, and that and I stuck those two together, and that's going to be the top part of my shaker, the sort of decorative frame of it. And the reason I just put the card on the back was just to give it that bit of extra strength, but also it just adds, if you did see it from behind, you know, from the side, and you just caught underneath, you'd see a nice pink edge rather than anything horrible. So that's going to go like that. Obviously I've got my acetate, which I cut using the largest circle die, and that will stick on there, and then that will stick on top like that, and that creates our little shaker section. So I've got my card here, and I need to put my, I'm going to put my shaker over to the right hand side slightly. Okay, so I've got my pin flare, and I'm just gonna, I'm not trying to create height with it, I'm just, where there's different levels because of the paper and card, it's just safer to use something like the pin flare, because you then know that it's gonna stick to the bits that are lower down. It's only marginal, but it still needs to be stuck down nonetheless. Then I've got my little sentiment tag that I created, and I'm going to stick that down using the Tombow Mono glue. So that's nicely stuck down like so. So the next thing that we need to do is stick our little ring down, because then we can start to put our little bits in and actually make our shaker. And a shaker card's a really easy card to make actually, and doing it with these like this is really easy because you create the height that you need with a perfect shape, because it's the shape that you're using. So you know it's going to be solid, it's not going to have any little gaps where the stuff escapes, you know, so it's going to work well. Okay, so then just turn that over, bring in the card and position that over the pink. It will sit perfectly onto the pink because the pink is the same size as the outer edge of our ring. And then I'm going to just pop that to one side for a minute to show you, look, it sitting there like that. So just pop that over there. I'm going to take my scalloped frame and my piece of acetate, and I'm going to stick those two together. So what you want to be sure is that you don't use a lot of glue, because it will go on your acetate and then you'll be really in a mess. So you can see we've attached that now, and that looks good. So we've got that piece done and we've got this piece done. So I'm going to put this piece to one side for a minute because I need this bit now, and I just want to add my little... Okay, so I've tipped the little sparkly bits out here, and what I want to do is just stick a couple down, just so that even when they move to the bottom, because the card is, you know, standing upright, we've still got a bit of sparkle up the top. Okay, so there's those three. They're going to be stuck permanently down, so even when it tips there'll be a little bit of sparkle up the top there. So now, because there's been adhesive in there, I just want to be sure that it's dry before we put anything else in, so we're just going to give that a second. And what I've got, and I'll just show you while that's drying off, is I stamped on this, there was one little piece of the cream cardstock left behind, so you can't see it now because I've used the back of the stamps there to put the little sparkles on, but there's some little trees, and I stamped using the three colours here, Hot Lips, Mint and Audrey Blue. Again, none of these came in the kit, we didn't have any ink in the kit. These two came in a kit that I got that had 5 colours, and it was a really nice kit, and these two are really nice, and so I used those. And then this one, as I said, I got that as a part of my free gift from Simon Says Stamp, so that was nice. So I used those 3. So what I did was, this one is like the pure Mint, this one is the pure Hot Lips, and this is pure Audrey. But this one here, what I did was I stamped the Audrey Blue, I stamped it just onto a piece of tissue just to clean most of it off. Then I inked it up again with the Mint. So as you can see, it's just got a little bit of the Audrey in. It's not quite the Mint and it's not quite the blue. And I think that just again brings it all together. So the plan is, and let's just have a look, because I don't know how many trees we need. I just thought, and then I just cut these out with a craft knife because I didn't have the dies, but they do actually come, you can get dies for them. But what I was thinking was that it would be nice to have the trees just sort of coming off here somehow. Yes, I don't know, but I just thought it might look quite nice sort of over in that corner there. So that's what those are for. So I'm just going to pop those to one side now because that should be dry enough. Wiped around in there, so that's nice and anti-static now. And then I'm going to take my acetate piece very carefully. We're only going to do that on obviously the inside, but then after we've done it we need to be sure that we don't actually I'm going to do it on the table here, that we don't then touch the background again, because there's no point making it anti-static if we then... So I'm going to put the powder on, and then you kind of almost wipe it back off again, but that just gets rid of that static fingerprints and things, like the oils and stuff, I guess is what it's really doing, is getting rid of. And now just make sure you don't touch that again, because you don't want to put that back on, you know, because then you've just wasted your time. Okay, so we've done that. And then all we need to do is just take that out of the way very carefully. I'm just making sure there's no like hairs on the back of that from the brush, because that's another one of those things. And then just making sure it's not too powdery or anything like that. Okay, so then taking our little diamante sequins and things, we're just going to pop those into our shaker section here, like so. So they're just going to sit in there. Now if you wanted to, you could add some glitter, or I've got, for example, this gorgeous Diamond Sparkle Snowdrift by Hunky Dory. I'm not going to add anything else, I don't think it needs it, but I'm just saying if you wanted to, you could. And then I'm going to get my adhesive here, and then just, it doesn't matter if you touch this side of the acetate because it's not gonna. And don't forget, if you've got like the Hunky Dory Snowfall acetate, that would look really nice as well. Today I wanted to go for clear because I just thought it would be nice to be able to really see our sparkle. And there we have our shaker card. Isn't that pretty? And as you can see, by having these pieces, as your card would stand upright and kind of all your sparkly bits go to the bottom, you've still got something up here. And also, if you notice, it's just slightly catching some of the others and stopping them going down, which is kind of fun as well. So you're getting that double whammy. Okay, so that's that done. So that shaker part done. From this circle here, that was the centre of that. So I thought that would be really nice just to add in the middle here. And then I've got this little tag which came from a sheet, and I just cut the square out. There was like all different, there was about, I think it was about 8 different little tags on it, and this one said for you, but it's got the little bunnies. And then I just used my punch here and just punched across the top. So I thought that would look nice just in the middle, and it brings those bunnies in and also the colour as well. So I thought that would look good there. And of course we may as yet still have a little tree, which I'll probably pop at the top part there. So we're just going to put that there. Like so. There we go. So that's that inside there, and as I say, we may still have a tree yet, but okay. So now let's get to just popping these trees on the front, and because the only other thing after that is just some little glitz and bling, really, I think. Okay, so let's just using my pin flare. So the first one I need down is this one. So we just want a little bit at the top and then a nice big blob at the bottom end there, so that we get the height. Just push that back under. Like so. Yeah, that looks good. And then this one. And this one's pretty much on the flat, so we can give him a bit of height, but perhaps not quite as high as the other one. Then just pop that under like so. Okay, just make sure he's straight there. There we go. And then the last one is our little red tree, and he's gonna be about here, so we need him flat at the top and a bit of a blob at the bottom. Okay. Right. Okay, so that's the trees stuck down. I think they look really nice. Now I'm just gonna pop this one on the inside, so just going to very carefully pop those down. Okay, so that's going to stick down now. That looks good. We've got the inside there done. That looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of these little blue hearts here and just pop them up the top here, because I just think they look so pretty. There we go. So just push those down. I think that looks pretty in the corner like that. Okay, so that's that. Ouch! Forgot I just changed the blade. And I was just looking as well at these lovely red crystals, and I've got 4. And I was just thinking that one in each corner might look really pretty. So let's just pop those. Actually, I can't do one in each corner because that would look wrong. And I'm going to change that because we've got the hearts up the top corner. Ow! So I think I'm going to do is just put the crystals. I'm going to put 3 here, and then I'm going to take this last one and just pop it over to this side, so we've got one over here as well. Oh, we've lost the sticky, so let's just grab a tiny bit of our mono glue. Put that there, and then get our gem. Pop it in place. There we go, so we've got 3 down that side and 1 over there, and I think that looks really nice. Again, it's just adding a little bit of something to the... Okay, so the letters that I showed you that I had in that little bag earlier, they'd come out from a die cut that I'd made from another card in this, from this kit that you'll see on Instagram, but it was from the same pattern as this, and I thought I would add the Christmas here, and then I'm going to stamp greetings underneath, so it's going to say Christmas greetings, and then you warm my heart, and then on the inside it says for you. And I think that's just going to look really nice. Oh, dropped it. So I think that just adds something up in that corner. I think it needed something. It was lacking a little bit of something up there. So I'm just going to get the stamp set. And in here we've got Season's Greetings. So I'm just going to split that. And personally, I would never worry about splitting your sentiment stamps. They're easy enough to stick back together on the stamp set. You know, you just put the 2 pieces together on your little stamper, so it's not a big deal to split them. So we're just going to grab that, and I'm just going to use my knife and very carefully just cut through . So I think what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of this darker pink on there, and then I'll stamp it off onto my pad there, and then I'll add the cotton candy. I did the wrong one. Just so that it's a little bit darker than the cotton candy, so I'm using a little of the Hot Lips and then the cotton candy. There we go. Oh, I think that works nicely. Look, not so strong, because if it was so strong then you'd lose the Christmas. So we've got Christmas greetings and then that, and I think that looks really nice. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is add a little bit of shimmer to my trees. So I'm just going to use this gorgeous sort of glitter that I've got here. It's really, really pretty. Let's see if I can show you that. It's so pretty. Hopefully you can catch it. There we go. So I'm going to be using that, and to attach it, as it were, to my card, I'm just going to use some glossy accents, because then it will just dry clear. So we're just going to add the glossy accents. So we're just popping that on the branches of the tree here. There we go. And then all I need to do is take this, and I'm going to just point it downwards while I do it and just sprinkle okay. Hopefully you can just catch that. It's so pretty. So that's just sparkled up our trees. So we're going to leave those to dry, and then I just think it might be nice just to add a little bit of stickles to our greeting up here, our Christmas up here. There we go. So that just balances that up a bit, because otherwise it's kind of like glistening down one bit and not the other. So then we've got crystal stickles just there, which looks really pretty. Okay, so that is our finished card, and I think it looks so pretty. I hope you do too. I love shaker cards anyway. I just think that looks so nice, and I love this kit. I've really enjoyed working with it. I love the colours. So do make sure, if you haven't had a look, have a look at yesterday's post, because there'll be a card on that one. And also go across to Instagram, because there's at least 4 if not 5 more cards on there that you will not see anywhere else that I've made for you from this kit. So I'd love you to go and have a look, and if you want to, and go to my website if you're not there, and it's in the left hand, it's not the left hand, and the right hand menu it says Instagram. So click on that and it will take you to my Instagram and you can have a look. Alright, well thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your comments. If you've had this kit, I'd love to hear what you thought of it. And if you haven't, I'd still love to hear what you thought of it, and I'd love to hear what you thought of the card. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.